Padres pregame thoughts. Padres and the Giants. Obviously, last night a pretty disappointing loss because when you think about it, right, you have Manny homer, Tatis homers twice. You've got Joe Musgrove on the mound. Going into that, you tell me that, and I think, yeah, Padres are going to win that game. But obviously, Joe did not pitch well, and when you give up, 8 runs? Yeah, it's hard to win baseball games because you're not going to score 15 runs a game like you did in that one game against the Dodgers in Seoul. Even 6 runs, I think it was 6 runs, right, in the home opener, even that isn't good enough when the pitching isn't good enough. So we'll see what happens today. We'll see if today's game ends up being played. Dylan Cease is scheduled to start this game against Jordan Hicks on the Giants. And, I mean, I was looking at Jordan Hicks' spring training, and it looks like he actually had a pretty decent spring training. But we all know him as this high-velocity guy out of the bullpen. He's not going to give you, 2 innings all the time because he's throwing over 100 miles per hour and he's just letting it all out. But now he's a starting pitcher transitioning. The Giants gave him this opportunity, and his last spring training outing was actually really good. I don't think he gave up any runs in 5 innings of work. But my game plan, if I were the Padres, and I'm sure this is part of their game plan, is make this guy work. Don't swing early in counts. Now, if you get the good pitch, of course you swing, but make this guy earn these outs. Make this guy work the counts against him. Because is he going to, if you work counts, if you have good at-bats against Jordan Hicks, is he going to be able to last over 5 innings? I'm not so sure about that. And then you add the weather into it, we'll see. Obviously, don't want anyone hurt. But yeah, I think really having competitive, good at-bats, of course you want to have that against really any starting pitcher. But for me, at least, especially Jordan Hicks, watching him pitch in the past, I know he probably has changed a little bit because he has to save a little bit of energy because he is now a starter. So I'm really interested in seeing how this Jordan Hicks experiment goes for the San Francisco Giants. But yeah, I would work the counts. Make this guy work. Try to get long innings. Work those walks so that he's out there for an extended period of time, and then maybe you can get to him and open up the floodgates. Not literally. We don't want it, I want this game to, get in here so they don't have to have a doubleheader or have to reschedule it, I think, for late September. I think that's what I saw was when the Giants came to Petco Park next. So, yeah, with Dylan Cease, another guy that can throw gas, but he also has nasty stuff. I'm not saying Jordan Hicks doesn't, but when I think of Jordan Hicks, I think of his fastball. With Dylan Cease, I think of his breaking pitches and just how nasty I've seen them. So, by the way, Underdog Fantasy pick for me today, I'm going to go Dylan Cease, 1.5 first inning strikeouts lower. That will be my suggestion for you guys. Underdog Fantasy 100% deposit match up to $100. Click that link in the description. Use code TalkingFriars. With Dylan, there's been some times, right, these couple outings that we've seen where he's given up a home run. And Dylan, he hasn't even been that happy with his outings. But I'd like to think that he's making progress here, so we might not see the best Dylan Cease outing, especially with this weather. It just might not be that great. But if maybe I should have higher standards for Dylan Cease, but I'm just saying, first regular season start with the Padres in these conditions. Keep the Padres in this game, and you hope that the offense again can get to Jordan Hicks. So it's going to be really interesting. Jackson Merrill, he is back in there. He's in center. Tyler Wade is playing third today. Kyle Higashioka is catching. I'm not so sure I like Higashioka hitting ninth and Merrill hitting eighth, because right after that, there's Bogaerts, Tatis, two righties, so there's a righty lane right there. Higashioka, Bogaerts, Tatis, before lefty Cronenworth hitting third. I would keep Merrill batting ninth. I don't really understand him batting eighth. I would just keep him batting ninth. Is eighth that big of a difference to batting ninth? And let's say a righty's on the mound. They've got 3 lefties in a row with Profar, Wade, and Merrill at, the bottom third, almost bottom third of that order there. So I'm not the biggest fan of how Mike Schilt constructed the back end of this lineup today, but I like that Merrill's in there. Again, we don't know if this game's going to get played. The Padres say that, yeah, the rain's going to die down and they'll be able to play, and that's good news. But early in the year, obviously, I think the thought really is in Padre fans' heads and just baseball fans, Giants fans as well, they'll tell you this. Early in the year, it's pouring outside, at least where I'm at, and I'm sure it's been pouring for some of you outside. Let's just not get people hurt. Let's think about the long term here. If they have to play a doubleheader or have to reschedule it for a different day, an off day later in the year, it's not ideal, but I'd rather not risk injuries than to try to play through rain, right? There's been some situations where like they start the game and then they have to delay it like in the first inning, and they just should have never started the game. So maybe watch for that. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. But yeah, Padres Giants. It's a nationally televised game on Fox. 4:15 is when it is scheduled to get that first pitch going. We will see if it gets postponed, if it gets pushed back. Props to anyone that's going to the game today. I mean, holy cow. I don't even know what the weather looks like for tomorrow either. But tomorrow there's a day game, so they could go doubleheader, right? They could play at 1 and then play when Sunday Night Baseball is going on. I guess they could. I think they've done that before, if I remember correctly. I don't think they're going to play at like 10 a.m. But yeah, 1. Where are the Giants? I don't know where the Giants play next. I'm looking that up right now. The Giants, oh, they're in LA. Yeah, so they could definitely do a doubleheader. And then they just bust to LA. It's like you have a night game, a Sunday Night Baseball game, and you bust to LA. I think it's a night game against the Dodgers, that first game of the series. So that's definitely doable if the weather is good enough tomorrow, if they can't get today's game in.